Guess we're gonna say hi really quick. Okay, hi everyone. Let's play the tune really quick and we'll regroup.
I live in dead, I'll die indebted to your hope. Born again, I swear I wouldn't breathe a word. If you could find me, take me back and make me whole. We're a circus, ruin my body with your corpse. So can you help me out?
That song's gonna get stuck in my head. Hi everyone. Yeah, welcome to the 7th installment of Crafty Mess, where we talk about I'm brain dead, gossip, chit chat, pop culture, all of the stuff, everything we want to talk about. We had on the docket 3 topics today. Well, 2 originally, but then one we really wanted to touch base on early on. And I guess the disclaimer is thoughts and opinions. These are not facts. We're watching all the stories unfold as it happens. And go ahead,
Yeah,
Mel.
just be sure not to leave any hate comments. We do not condone harassment. If you have thoughts or things you want to talk about, just leave them here and then we'll discuss it. So
yes, and what are you working on today?
So I was running out of crafting things, but luckily Tony was saying that I had made these coasters, macrame coasters for him in October, and he loved them and he wanted a different color. So I'm working on macrame coasters like this.
Oh,
so he
cute.
wanted a different color, like he was saying, maybe yellow because it looks like a sun after you're done. So I'm working on the second one for him. So yeah, I was like,
color.
huh? It's
Yellow's
pretty,
my favorite
I think.
color.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah. That looks very interesting.
Oh no, I bought these new organizer bins.
Oh, so
because
so
I'm gonna organize right now. Well, first of all, this is so sad. So this right here, I made the mistake of letting Beauty pick out some beads to make necklaces, and now it's just all over the place. So I have to go, and then obviously Rocket came in here and knocked over this one. So now I have to go through all this. Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? This is a child-free fur and human free zone.
Yeah,
so
I mean, because when you crafting, you do need to have things organized.
Yeah. So I was just like, I might as well just do it while we're chatting. Yeah, because I'm kind of brain dead this week. Yeah, I'm brain dead this week, and I don't even know why. I think it's just one of those weeks I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just.
Could it be anything happening with the news?
Yes, and also the time change, but also
no, the time change is a huge thing. No, that I do agree. I love DST because we get that extra hour of sunlight. I am all for that, being a photographer myself. But it does take a toll on your body.
Yeah, and even though we're all staying home and stuff, it's still you still feel it. So I think that's probably it.
Oh, hi Katrina. We're doing good.
Katrina.
We're crafting,
doing all the
and
stuff.
talking. Yeah. What I was gonna say, yeah, I'm still going through most of the clocks. I changed most of the stuff that matters and everything, but I forgot to change I forgot to change Bo's food dispenser, so it went off at 8 instead of 7, which is fine. It's just an hour difference.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with my car and my oven and my microwave. It's probably gonna stay that till fall.
Oh, I don't think I changed the car yet. Dang, that's so much I need to do.
I know. And then you forget how to do it too, which is
yeah.
You would think that you would know what the instructions is. When you go in there, you're just twice a year, I guess. But then you're just drooling in your car, trying to figure it out.
They're also talking about getting rid of it, which I think that's fine too, instead of having to
Yeah.
change. Because there are some states that don't change at all. I think Arizona is one of them.
Oh,
They
really?
don't change. Yeah,
Like
they don't
mountain
change the
time?
time. Is it? I don't know if it's mountain time,
Isn't
but
Arizona mountain
They
time?
don't change the. I don't know. I have to look.
Oh.
Yeah, but they don't change the time.
Oh, huh. Okay. Well, lucky them. But they
Yeah.
also, I'm assuming it might be mountain time because you can't farm in the mountains. And the whole reason for DST is because of farming, right?
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you
Mhm.
can't really farm in the mountains.
So I guess for them it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, there's another heavy topic on our heart. It would have to be the Stop Asian Hate, um, the Stop Asian
Movement.
Hate movement that's going on. Um,
Mhm.
I think so. When I made the post a couple of days ago, it literally was the same day that the Atlanta shooting happened. And I
Oh.
didn't know that until after I posted it. And then I
Uh-huh.
like went onto the news because I usually don't read the news like early in the
Same.
morning. I wait a little bit later.
Mhm.
Because they're like it'll automatically ruin my day. Like that's just how
Yeah.
that happens. So yeah, so
And
I just wait later.
that day was particularly busy for me, so I didn't even get a chance to really look at the news. I didn't know about it until
Yeah.
Tony told me later in the evening, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And he
Yeah.
was like saying how like said, "Oh, it's not." I think he said that other people were saying that it wasn't a hate crime because the guy was just going around hitting spas and shooting people. And then I was like, "What are most spa places in Atlanta Asian owned?" It's so he's always just hitting, but there
Yeah.
was literally one of the spa places was Korean owned, and a Korean reporter went there to interview, I guess, one of the survivors or something like that. And she literally said that the guy said, "I'm gonna kill all the Asians." So if that's not hate
Oh
crime to
gosh.
you, I don't know what is.
It's
So,
and I
and I'm
think one
sorry.
of the no, I mean, one of the deputy officers during the interview was saying that, oh, he had like a history of mental health, and it was just like a really bad day for him. And I'm like, any other crimes, any other mass shootings, like let's
Mhm.
say if you're a BIPOC person, they would not bring the
Mhm.
mental health card out. It would just be any
Yeah.
other thing before the mental health card, which is so
Yep.
unfortunate because then it put that stigma on mental health that like everyone who's dealing with it is like
Yeah.
one step away from a massacre, which is not true.
Right.
Definitely there's spectrums of it, and aside from that part, the mental health part, which really, I mean, obviously, I'm very like about that kind of stuff, but at the same time the
You
whole
go to yes, I agree. Mental health. You don't go if you're having a bad day. You don't go on a shooting spree. You go on. You talk to your therapist. You go exercise. You go do something to let off steam. Not like kill a bunch of people. You know,
or
just to satisfy. Like it was just disgusting. Sorry, just to like interrupt. Alexa, I'm using a 2 millimeter macrame thread. You can find that on Amazon.
um yeah, I just like for me I have never been to that state of like, even so, like I think there's different types of like mental health, like depression or
Mm,
whatever, and I don't know what he has, so let's just put
yeah.
him in like the mental health category. Like I clearly depressed, anxious, right? Like, and for
Mm-hmm.
me that is more like coming from a side of I feel like a burden to society, not that I hate society. There's like two different, it's very different. But even so, regardless of the mental health stuff, the targeting of the Asian community has always been a problem. It's just that
Yep.
I felt like it didn't get talked about as much until recently. I mean, I've known, people in my like friends
Mm-hmm.
and and acquaintances like in my past who've had instances where they felt threatened walking down the street, or they've
Mm-hmm.
actually been attacked. um like for
Like,
me, I've gotten things stolen and taken from me many times in my life.
oh
My dad literally last year got carjacked at gunpoint. um
my
and then
gosh.
yeah, it
What?
was
That's
he was
terrifying.
yeah, he's a landscaper, so he was just, like driving around, and I don't know if it was racially motivated, but I can't help but think that it might be because he's just this Asian dude like driving around doing his
Yeah.
thing, and then like his truck is literally the shittiest truck ever. Like
Oh my
his truck
gosh.
was $3,000, and
Uh-huh.
and like the trailer was like he like made it himself. Like it's a crappy truck. Like there's no reason to take this guy's truck.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that there might be some lawnmowers and some leaf blowers, but again, like you can sell those for like a couple $100. So I don't see the risks in that
Mm-hmm.
as much. But I don't know. I've never been in a desperate place where I had to rob or steal, so I can't speak to that. But so yeah, he did get carjacked at gunpoint.
Oh my
They
God.
yeah, like the guy just came up to him and then was just like knocking on his window, and my dad obviously like rolled his window down and
Mm-hmm.
then like held a gun to him and was just like, hey, get out of the car. And my dad's like, okay. And he just got out of
Oh
the
my
car and he was just like, take whatever
gosh.
you need. So they took his phone, his wallet, and everything, and then they drove off with it. And he like walked to like another guy's home and was
That's
like, hey,
terrifying.
he like got to another Vietnamese guy's home and he was just like, hey, I just got robbed. And the guy was like, you? But you're my landscaper. Like, why would they? And the guy was so
Oh my
confused. And
gosh.
so, yeah, so that happened last year. And although my dad tried to, come off like super manly man about it, I can tell that it really affected him because he got like a
Yes.
security system for his home. He has cameras in his home now. He welded all of his windows with iron
Mm-hmm.
bars. And then
Oh
a
my
couple years before,
goodness.
yeah, a couple years before that, like, his home, like, oh, there's always people coming by, like, stealing stuff off of his truck, like
Oh my
gas and stuff like
gosh.
that. Yeah, so, and I don't know, like, again, I don't know if it's like an Asian thing, but it's now that like it's in front of me, like I can't help but think that. And I try not to because it takes me to a place that makes me
Mm-hmm.
cynical. But at the same time, it is a thing. Like, Asian minorities, especially our elderlies, they do get attacked. And
It's because they're the
I
most vulnerable, and that is
yes.
just the most cowardly action ever to just attack the elderly. It's like, really? What
Well,
kind of
and
like mom raised you? That I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just like, or maybe they didn't have a loved one in their life to like look up to, but to revert to something like that, like it just makes me so,
well, here's my question is, how Asian people are very into like cash. So
hmm so they
they hide.
know.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like how like some Asian families still believe in putting money in the mattress or in the wall
Yeah.
or wherever they hide their, and then a lot of them still believe that that money can be in the form of like jewelry, so diamonds
Yeah.
and golds and things like that. So I'm wondering if it's something that a lot of some people know about and they just especially for the elderly ones, because of my grandma, she used to like put cash, like, so she would
hmm
sew these little, tiny little pockets in her granny panties, and it's like on the inside and it's like really next to her crotch, and it's like deep,
Wow.
right? And she would like carry thousands of dollars in there, and every
Yeah.
time she would go and shop, like she would do one of these, and I'm just like, nope, don't want that money anymore. Like it's just too deep. So
Yeah.
so again, it's like I'm wondering if people know about that, because it is a joke that like we talk about our elders
But it's the same
having.
thing. It's going by stereotypes. And like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that does like, my mom is probably one of them where she doesn't
I'm
have a
still
bank.
one of them. I'm
I
kidding.
don't hide cash at home. I'm sorry. So you try to like, you'll be disappointed. So I don't do that. But my mom, she was just, I was like, why don't you put this in the bank? She's like, no, I don't want people to know I have this money. I was like, and it's safe at
Yeah,
home. Like,
yeah.
I mean, our house has been broken into several times before in
Oh
the
god.
past, like so many years ago, and we were targeted. I don't know why, but my dad definitely has like
Oh.
security systems up, and but yeah, it's just not.
No, I was like, no, you guys need to get a safety deposit box,
Yeah.
put it in there, whatever you want to put in there, just get a safety
Do
deposit
you
box.
have one?
It was, yeah, we do.
I wonder if I should
I-
get one.
yeah, and it's funny because the other day I was like, a couple of months ago, I was buying boots, and there was one that like showed up, and it was just like a side compartment for your wallet and your credit cards, and I was like, yes, I got it. And then I was thinking, wait a minute, what's happening? I'm turning into a little Asian lady.
Oh no, you're becoming one of those.
But I mean, we joke because we're uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's like it is a thing in our community where cash is hidden in compartments in our body. And so I'm wondering if that is a conversation that is like, passed around amongst other people.
But
And again,
whatever the case may be, it is still okay, and it's in the prerogative to keep these things at home. Then don't ever think that they will be the ones to be targeted,
exactly,
and like,
exactly.
come on, people, it's not yours to
Well,
be taken.
Well, I also have another theory, and this is me tinfoiling here, is that, when it came to like the BLM movement, I did notice that, a lot of white Americans were using Asians as the model minority. And I think by making us the model minority, we end up being a target for both sides, I feel like. Not, I mean, I felt racism like living in the Midwest, being like one of the very few
Yeah.
Asians in my school. So like I've always felt it, right? But I'm wondering because of last year, we were made to be like the modeled minority. I was just wondering if it was kind of like, you not liking the teacher's pet kind of situation, and then like rolling your eyes at them. And I'm wondering if that is
Again,
if that kind of exacerbates the situation, right? So it makes everyone else who are minorities look at us and like, okay, well, we don't like you because now the white Americans are like using you and backing you up. And then, we're also still dealing with the racism with white Americans as well. So it's very like, it puts Asian Americans in a very hard place. Like I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's almost like a lose-lose in some cases. But I do definitely want to stress the point that you can stop Asian hate without saying, without like walking, without not, what's the word? You can stop Asian hate. You can support that movement, and you can also support BLM. I see some of the conversations where it's like, well, if you stop Asian hate, then therefore you're not for BLM. You're saying that BLM are the ones that are
Why does
attacking
it have to
Asians, but
be?
that's not it. It's not
Why does it have
that.
to be?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be exclusive with you? Like, it can be
No.
both.
Yeah, and I think it's really awesome to see,
We just
my BLM, sisters and brothers, like, stepping out and
Mhm.
supporting us, just kind of like how we did the same, last summer too. So it's really heartwarming to see that. But it's also really sad that this is kind of our reality. But
It's been
I think
happening
some,
much more. I mean, obviously, like I said in my Instagram post, it's the same. It's different times, different situation, but it's the same underlying story.
yeah,
Like, it's just the same thing. It's we're just always going to be an outcast, no matter like how you put it, because there's just always that racial prejudice, like
yeah,
that this country has. And
yeah,
unfortunately, it got worse during Trump. It definitely
yeah,
much worse because he like made COVID into a racial thing versus like a country trying to get together to fight this virus. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, like even like that cop was saying, oh, this guy was having bad days, so that's that's his reason. I was like, okay, well, then you look further, people were digging into him further, and he was selling T-shirts that says COVID-19 imported from China, imported virus from China. I was just like, mother, like, come on, you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's heartbreaking, but I also know that like this is one of the
Yeah.
very first times where I've
Oh my gosh.
seen the whole, hey, let's not be racist, like take off, like not be racist in general, like really shake, um and it's like we haven't seen that in a while, and to see it like shake us up a little bit, I think sometimes
Yeah.
you have to get a little bit uncomfortable for a little
Yeah.
bit to get to a better place.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, it's uncomfortable for me in a sense that like my daughter is half white American,
Yeah.
Caucasian.
Yeah.
So, when all of this is going around that all Caucasians are racist or and things like that, and then you see this other
No.
guy who's going around and doing a mass
Yeah.
shooting who says they hate Asians or whatever, it guts
doesn't
me
help.
because my daughter, no, it doesn't help because my daughter is half white, right?
Yeah.
And I grew
Yeah.
up like not really liking my Vietnamese side, my Vietnamese side, like as if I'm white, my Vietnamese culture, because, well, it's because I spent all of my life trying to acclimate to the American culture that like you forget, right? So like I spent a good majority of my life like being ashamed of being Vietnamese, sometimes because of the racism. But then I also don't want my daughter to grow up to not like her white American side, right? So I like that conversation is going to be very tricky and interesting for me when I have it with her.
Yeah. And it has to be like all this conversation, hard conversation has to be done at the young age. Like it's upbringing, like some of these people just don't, I just don't get it. And it's like, it's almost to a point where it's like, yeah, like I grew up, in a very white dominant school system and things like that. And it's just like, that's all you like. When I was young, I didn't like my eyes, I didn't like my nose, I didn't like, a lot of things about myself that was like ethnically mine. And it's just, I grew to like that, like I grew to love myself. But that was hard growing up because, like you said, you were trying to fit in, and not be made fun of. Like all my life I was being made fun of. I just want to address Alexa. Like, I'm sorry that your sister and mom got like mugged in a Walmart parking lot. Ugh. It's just like, what kind of society are we in that we just don't feel safe? Like, it's just crazy.
And like, I can't. Yeah, your mom definitely needs to carry pepper spray and know how to use it, because there was a time where I got pepper spray and I did not know how to use it, so I had to like train myself. And I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. Like the pepper spray, I mean, it's great. It's a use of a protection. But sometimes I feel like it could also be used against you, like you said. So there was one time I was walking around with an alarm, just because I do walk around at night. Sometimes, like whenever it does get dark, I do walk in at night. But it's just like an alarm system that you can pull. Your phone does the same thing too. You can actually set up your phone to alert. It can call, they can call like the police, your emergency contact just by a push of a button, that sort of thing. So you can set that up. So
I would even tell Siri to call.
Yes,
I would tell Siri to call 911 too.
Setting that up for your mom and your sister for their phones.
Yeah, it's just it's unfortunate that especially as women though we have to be a little bit more hyper vigilant, because we just live
so scary.
Not only are you a woman and now you're also a BIPOC woman, so it's just like it puts you. And then if you're under 5 feet, good luck. Like, good luck now.
I was like, am I Target? Like, if I walk
but here's the thing, though.
Around my neighborhood, am I like Target without knowing? Because I always put earbuds in while walking, and now I don't even feel safe doing that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Mel. Like, I know Mel can beat some ass, so I'm just saying.
Do you really know that?
Yeah,
I'm really thinking I could like. I need to go to some martial arts classes or something.
Yeah, like that girl has some strong legs. Like even I can't keep up. Like she can walk for miles and like not even feel a
Yeah.
dent. She walked for miles with a bloody ankle and did not like feel a dent. And I was just like, no. Remember like in Rome, we woke up at 7 a.m. We had
Did
to
I have
leave, and then
I had a
it
bloody
was in Rome.
ankle?
Yeah, because your brand new shoes wasn't broken in, and so it was cutting into your ankle.
Oh
And then we
shoot! I
bought
forgot about that.
and then we bought bandages, and it was like 6:45, 7 a.m. I'm just like taking my shower, kind of groggy, and she's over here like a boxer, just wrapping up her foot, like, are you ready to go? And I'm like, jeez, no, I'm not. I
Can't
am
slow me
hurting for
down.
you.
You can't slow me down.
Yeah, but
We were on on a trip.
yeah.
So
Okay, so Katrina says since racism has been in the news lately, talking to kids has been on our priority list, especially given our
thank
whole house is
you.
split. Thank you,
Oh
Katrina.
yes,
But
please. It starts at the house.
it starts at home. Like, with
Yes.
Broody, going to preschool, all of her teachers are different ethnicities and backgrounds. Our
Yeah.
friends are different ethnicities and backgrounds. And then,
Yeah.
when she asks, I will explain to her why,
Yeah.
someone looks different and where they come from, and we'll have that conversation. I mean, right now, all she
Yeah.
knows is that friend, teacher, family. Well, everyone's her brother and sister right now, which I'm totally okay with.
Yeah.
But that hate starts at home. I really do believe that, because children are
I
just
so believe that.
inherently loving.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't grow. They are not born with hate. Like
No,
seriously,
they're
it's what's
just,
taught to them.
yeah, they're inherently loving. You can see it when the child plays pretend with
Oh
their
my
dolls, and
gosh.
you can see it when they play with animals. Like it's so inherently in them,
Yeah.
and they are taught to hate, to be prejudiced, to stereotype. So I honestly do feel very hopeful that, at least for Grudy's generation, it's going to be a much gentler and softer and more compassionate generation.
I do hope so. It's just that like maybe I am starting to be like a pessimist when it comes to some of the stuff that's happening. Like it wasn't a surprise when Tony told me that. I'm like, really? It's just another incident that happened. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to feel shocked and like outraged. And it was just like, I mean, I do now, but just listening to that was my first initial reaction. Like, how sad is that?
I mean, I'm hopeful, just because maybe I live in a bubble, but I feel like as millennial parents, we're a little bit more educated on child development, and also how to speak to our children, not as like our little mini-me's and stuff, but little humans, right? So I'm hopeful in that sense. But then again, maybe it's just because I raise my child a certain way, and that's probably the reason I'm hopeful. And I don't know what goes on in other people's homes, so there's that too. But I do know that she is surrounded by very similar-minded children and adults. So and I literally just had this conversation with another friend. So it's like, maybe I just surround myself with better people, and that would make better little people. So we will see.
That's the whole point, is to be able to surround yourself with positive, like upbringing, positive environment. It's just, but it's sad because there are issues out there that we don't know of. I don't know how these people grew up to be that way, but it doesn't help that if you grow up in a community that's racially spurred, like it doesn't help. It just makes you feel like, oh, okay, I should be that way too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where again, if you're young and you live in that little bubble and you think that, oh, these people, this skin color are this and that, then maybe you grow up to believe that. I mean, I remember when I went to college, this girl came up to me. She's like, "You're the first Asian I've ever met." And I was just like, "That's kind of cool. So what do you think?" Yeah, like Like
That's
I wasn't
crazy.
offended. I wasn't offended because like I grew up like that, like being the only
Yeah.
Asian in whatever situation, right? But she literally like, and we ended up being really good friends in college, by the way. So, but she
Oh,
came up to me. She was very genuine about it. She was like, "I honestly, you're the first Asian I've ever met, and this is really cool." And I was just like, "All right, come along. Let me show you some pho." Like,
you know,
just,
when I was young, my mom would take me to Hong Kong, you know, where it's like
mhm,
obviously everyone is like us, you know.
uh-huh.
But it didn't hit me back then how significant that was. It wasn't until I went to Taiwan a few years ago that I literally was walking around. I was like, I feel great. Like, you know, everyone's like me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
feel stand out. Like, I do what I want. And like, uh-oh, your crafts went
Oh my,
away.
oh yeah, my craft cam went away because
Um,
I think my battery died.
oh, okay. So yeah, like
Yeah.
it just felt weird. Like it felt, I don't know. I just didn't feel like, I don't know. When I went to school in Pittsburgh, it was, I felt very I felt probably the most racial um racial
Tension.
incidents against me, yeah, tension against
Yeah.
me, because they think it was just more of a white dominant, like they just don't really, like it was outside of the college campus that I really felt that way, and I had so many like attacks and things like that, and not like
Hmm.
physical attacks but just like attacks. I But then moving here to like Maryland, DC, then it's just, it doesn't feel as I don't feel a lot of that, you know. It's just, it's a big change, but it's just so sad to see it from like around the world.
I think one thing that does kind of like um pains me is when I had this conversation a while back, and it kind of still like gets me when someone says, you know, ignorance is a choice. And I think it is a choice only if you have the information and you still choose to be ignorant, you know?
Yep,
I don't,
totally.
not everyone is exposed to, you know, different cultures. You know, not everyone gets to travel and stuff like that. My
Yeah,
friend, for example, she's never met an Asian her whole life, and she knew about us, you know, but she just never
it's
grew
like
around. Yeah, like, you know,
we're like an
so
extinct species or something that she's
yeah,
read about. Like, what the
yeah, so
hell?
I don't think it's like, you know, I think, you know, when you say ignorance is a choice, it's kind of like just very disregarding for me, I'm such a huge person when it comes to like, you know, we need to get to know people individually, their background, regardless of, I don't know, we're the human race, regardless of
Yeah,
whatever like initial judgments you might have, you know. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I'm just hopeful that our children are just gonna be, um,
I think the difference between then and now is that, like, before I was like, you know, saying to Tony, we had a conversation about this before. I was just like, I just feel like, you know, we're just sitting around and just really not doing anything, you know, like, because Asians are known or like have said that we're like docile, so we keep to ourselves, we don't make ripples and things like that. But it actually does warm my heart now to see that, yes, so many people, so many of us are all gathering together to try to stand up for this, because it's wrong. It's just, you just don't, you know, you just don't do this to anyone. Like, it's just, yeah.
would you ever consider raising your kids in a different country so they don't experience racism? My mom did that because she never wanted us to experience the racism she did growing up.
I
I go ahead, Mel.
I was gonna say, no, because then you're kind of just, yes, you're, it's nice to not have to grow that, but then you're protecting them and you're putting them in a bubble. You don't
Yeah.
actually let them, like, not that it's great to experience it, but you do grow a more resilient character. You are strong, you know, and you also learn to use your voice against things that are wrong. If they're always in this like safe environment, how are they gonna learn that? Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, because I did live in Hong Kong for a year,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't even a matter of like being in Hong Kong, like you're gonna experience differences regardless wherever you
Mm-hmm.
live. So in Hong Kong, I was considered the lower class Asian
Yeah.
because I was Vietnamese and not like Korean or Japanese or Chinese or
Mm-hmm.
Cantonese, Hong Kongese. So yeah, you're gonna experience that divide regardless, may it be skin color, religion, or economical class, or even like educational. So I think I think it would be a cool opportunity to live in a different country with Rudy. I think that would be cool if we
Mm-hmm.
have that opportunity. But I think also something that's important is to also travel, but not like, stay in the touristy area all the time, but obviously really
Yeah.
like venture out and see how people live. I think that's also very important. When
Yeah.
people talk about racism and stuff to me, I can tell who has left the country and who has never
Yes.
left
Yes.
the
You can
country.
tell a huge. You can tell so much from a person based
And
on based on how they. Yeah, I totally
And
understand.
in the South, people just go, "Oh, bless your heart." Like that's kind of
Yeah.
like how I
Right.
just, "Oh, bless your heart." Like, I just let them go on with their, what they think and what they read in articles and stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, if you can have
You're
an
not
opportunity
living.
to, yeah, to step out just for a little bit, you can really
Mm-hmm.
see how it's very different and how even racism is different in different countries too.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that. But that's actually a really good question, Cherry. I
That's
think
a great question.
I think your mom I think that's cool that your mom did that actually, and you get to experience like different aspects of your childhood. I think that's actually really cool. Um okay. We spent 35 minutes on that topic. I
It's
guess
an important topic.
yeah, and we just have so much to say about it just because,
Yeah.
our history and our background and um Papa was telling me, he was just like, I'm so tired of people saying that I like Asian women because they're submissive. Like, they do know what a tiger mom is, right? Like, tiger moms don't come from submissive little Asian women. Like, they've always been tiger moms. They just don't show it. They do the
The
cute kitty thing
difference
first.
yes, but the difference between tiger moms is that it's still like they're there to teach their kids, to like
Yeah.
not like to be right, to do right. But outside of that, there are seen still as like little, little moms, like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
docile. But oh
Oh
man,
no,
when I tell
I
you the
run a
stories
tight
about
ship there.
when I tell you the stories about how my mom like growing up and everything, oh, she's a psycho mom. Now she's okay. We're in a better relationship. But like growing up, oh hell no. Like there was some stories that you just would not know. So yeah,
I'm
you better be careful around like moms that are still young and kicking.
I'm lucky I didn't have to go through the whole tiger mom situation.
That's
Definitely
good.
really lucky there. Yeah. I don't know. My dad was always like, "Whoa, she's crazy." Like, he just was
Oh
never not
no.
into that. No, but he was also
No.
like the youngest of his batch,
Uh-huh.
so maybe that's also the reason why too. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. I think my mom was like the second youngest. I don't know. I mean, I learned at a very young age to do a lot of the stuff. I changed my first diaper at 9 years old. No kid should do that.
Oh,
Like because
yeah.
my siblings are so young, and like my parents worked when we were young. So who takes care of the kids? We do. So,
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
but yeah.
Yeah. That's it's crazy. I think when you think
You didn't
about.
think about it, but yeah, you don't think about it. But then when I went back to count how old I was when my brother or my sister was born, I was like, wait a tick,
Yeah.
wait, I
Well,
was
no,
how
I
old
was
when I did what?
no, I yeah, definitely was like watching my brother quite a lot too when I was younger and my mom was
Right?
working full time. I mean, us
Yeah,
90s latchkey kids, we're just they were just winging it and we were just in survival mode. Like
yeah, totally
yeah,
survival mode.
we're just all figuring it out. And obviously like being immigrants too, your parents are like always hustling and working. So it's it's very Ali Wong the way she described her life. Like it's very
Oh
similar. I
yeah,
mean, it's very, very like making ramen by yourself. Like it's very,
oh
very much
yeah.
true. So
I think we might have to even like title this this live a little bit differently because we're not really talking about the subject at
yeah, we're
hand.
not talking
So
about
okay,
David
let's dig
Dobrik
into it.
anymore. Okay, maybe let's save David
Let's
Dobrik for
jump.
next week because it's a lot, and I have a
Okay.
hard stop at like
Oh
11
yes, that's
a.m.
true.
12. Yeah. So
Okay.
okay, let's do the cheerleader story really quick.
Okay.
Um, let's see the cheerleader topic. Did you read the article? Did you skim through it,
Um,
or what's your your idea of it
I actually
or
didn't
your
get a
thoughts?
chance to. I'm sorry, but I kind of have like a general
Okay.
gist what you were telling me. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so I'm sure I have thoughts. But what did Katrina? I had a hard talk about what racism is and what their grandfather had to endure. They don't realize that they are just two short generations away from seriously ugly racism.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
true. If we don't stop
That is
this, it's just
so
going to
sad.
continue. The cycle just continues. But yeah, let's talk about the cheerleader mom, the
I mean, I
cheerleader.
do want to touch on Katrina's really quick. It's just that, just
Oh,
because
go
we're
ahead.
10, 20, 30, 40 years away, we're not
Yeah.
that far removed,
Yeah.
and things are just repeating itself. Seriously, like history is
Oh
repeating itself.
yeah.
And I think we're
Totally.
giving a really good opportunity right now to actually nip it in the butt. And I think we have the tools now. So, with media and social media and stuff. So it's going to be a different way
Yeah.
how it plays out in comparison to like the 90s or the 80s when something similar happened. So okay, the
Mm-hmm.
cheerleader story. A quick background is that there's this mom who pretty much created a deep fake of another cheerleader vaping because her daughter didn't like that cheerleader. So the mom of cheerleader A made a deep fake of cheerleader B vaping and
Uh-huh.
sent that
Oh my
vaping video
gosh.
to the coach. But the video was a fake deep fake, like how people just put their faces on like
Yeah.
another person or whatever. And the cool thing is that the coach actually went to the cheerleader B and was just like, "Is this you?" And she was mortified because she's like, "I know 100% fact that I was not me. I don't vape,
Mm-hmm.
but why is it an image of me vaping?" And
Yep.
so it's a very short story, but I think by talking about it is interesting because you see it all the time in like shows and stuff where like a mom would take their daughter's phone and text another girl and like bully her, or a mom would like log into one girl's social media and then leave bullying comments and stuff. And so you see it play out all the time in like movies and shows, and then seeing it happening now but with
Yeah.
deep fakes is really interesting because that whole texting and social media stuff has happened before. And I'm pretty sure moms who are not tiger moms, but like I guess the soccer moms, the competitive moms are doing that kind of stuff. And I don't know, for me, I
Oh my
just
gosh. It's
okay,
like
you
be
go
a role
first.
model. Be a role
Yeah.
model. Like I don't have kids, but I freaking can at least be like, yeah, this is not the right way to like, like go up the ladder. You don't cheat your way up. Like what the hell is wrong with these people?
and and it's also like this mentality of like, are those women like stuck in high school mode
Yes,
where
right?
they feel right? Like I'm pretty sure I want to raise Rudy in a sense where like when she hits high school, she can defend herself, but know that I will be
Yes.
standing behind her back. And when she tells me to ride, I will come to the school and probably have like a very stern conversation, you know.
Yeah.
But like you let your children handle it until they come to you and they're just like, "Yo, I need your help," right?
Oh
Especially with things like this,
gosh.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't. Another thing is, I'm so glad that the coach was just like, "Hey, is this like," instead of ostracizing her immediately or
Yeah,
suspending her
that's
and stuff, which
good.
is like good on the coach. But I do.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so last year I signed up Grudy for gymnastics, and
Uh-huh.
she was only like 2 at the time, so it was just like an activity to get some of her energy out. But like the moment I got there, I can feel it in the air. The competition
No.
was tough. It was thick, and it's just like you can feel it. And I don't like to judge other moms because I don't like to pit women against women, especially moms. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard enough, right? But
Mm-hmm.
but like when you walk into a room and you can feel it, like, and
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about, like, maybe it's me, like I'm thinking that they're judging me, or maybe it's not, but it just felt thick, right? In
Mm-hmm.
the sense where, like, this lady asked me, she's like, so, um what, what class is your kid in? And I was like, she just started. And she was like, oh, well, my kid is the same age as yours, and when she started, she was able to move up right
Oh
away. And I was
God.
just like,
Eye
they're
roll.
toddlers, yours can
Eye
tumble.
roll.
Mine falls over. Who cares?
Yeah, yeah,
Calm
exactly.
down.
And see, things you're not helping the kid grow. You're
Yeah,
stifling them.
yeah,
You wanting, like, if it's like, oh, this is about mom's love, wanting the kids to succeed and everything. No, you're not letting them grow. This is actually about you.
yeah.
Like, this is you wanting to not look bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, and and it's funny because this happened in October, where like Papa saw this other little girl who was like 4 months older than Grudy, just like talking in full sentences and stuff. And he looked at me a little concerned, and I was just like, no, 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 no. A month or 2 months is
Uh-huh.
like literally years for toddlers. And now, 5 months out, like, we cannot get her to stop talking. And I was just like, I told you, you let kids just develop on their own pace. But it's the same with, like, it's just being over competitive. And I think there's an
Mm-hmm.
insecurity that comes along with that. And I feel for those women who feel competitive and who feels that, their children's success is a representation of them and their success, or lack thereof, or whatever. But at the same time, it's just like, it's not about you. Your child is separate from you. Oh no, it just got disconnected. So so I'm gonna chat with you guys for a little bit here, because her phone just totally like went away. But yeah,
What
it's just,
happened?
when I don't know. But yeah, it's okay. So now here's another thing though. Let's say if that deep fake was like pornographic, because at first I thought it was pornographic, and I told you that, and then I read into the article a bit
Mhm.
more, and I kind of like looked at different articles and stuff, and turns out it was just her vaping, but they made it sound like
Yeah.
it was like, you know, let's say
Or
that was the case. Um, if you were to take legal action, like, how would you handle that? Like, for me, I would still feel like
that's
electronically
defamation.
violated, right?
Yeah, but that's defamation.
Yeah, it's defamation, and then it feels like you've been actually violated, like, to
Yeah.
have your face, and then could you
Mhm.
imagine if people actually thought it was real?
It's
Like,
it's also bullying too. So yeah, she like that. I feel like they could totally take this to court.
yeah, and okay, so let's say if you're a high schooler and there was a deep fake that's made of you and it's pornographic and it got sent all over the school, would that still be considered child pornography in a sense?
Hell yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right?
You're
Right? Because
distributing.
then
Yes, you're taking and
distributing,
distributing.
even though it's not her body, it's just her face, but there's
Right.
still like a weird element. The law needs to like hurry up, because it's going to get problematic really soon here. um so I'm just wondering if like that would be, I don't know, if that happened to me, like if I was underage or something that happened to me, I would be mortified, and then I would like, I don't know. I just, ugh, gosh, like I can't. I'm scared to raise children in this world now, and I don't know. It's, you got that, and then obviously, I guess we could save the David Dobrik stuff for next week, because it kind of not, it doesn't tie into that, but it has a lot to do with like living on social media as children and even as
Mhm.
adults now. But I don't know. I wish the best for that mom. I hope that she understands that sometimes maybe, letting your kid fight their own battles is good for them. Um,
Mhm.
allowing kids to make mistakes is good for them. As long as
Mhm.
it's not so terrible that it's like, gonna make their life a little bit harder. But at the end of the day, it's, everything's a learning experience. And Which reminds me, like, in high school, people used to like shun teen pregnancies and stuff. And it
Mm-hmm.
was like really, really looked down upon at my school.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it's anything to look down upon, it's just, it's a different path. It might be a harder path, and it's not a path that most parents want for their children. But now I look at
Yeah.
those acquaintances, and they have kids that are like 13 and 14, and I'm just like, ah, I have a 3-year-old, I want your life. Like, they're hanging out with their teenagers, and they're just like going out to brunch and like living their best life now. And I'm pretty sure
Aw.
like the first couple of years are like really tough for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, everyone's path is different, and we have different milestones and different timelines. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just, that mom, oh God, she's setting up her, not only that, she's also
So bad.
teaching her, yeah, she's teaching her daughter that you can be skeevy like that to get what you
Yep.
need, which is not okay. And then she's
Not
also setting an expectation that her daughter is the best, and
yeah.
that's also not okay and not
But
healthy too.
also saying that, hey, you're not good enough to do this, so we're gonna cheat our way to the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very, yeah. Yeah, so that's the two topics. I'm glad we spent more on the first topic because it's still unfolding. And honestly,
yeah.
I think for the first one, the shooter, like, I am tired of seeing his face. I'm tired of knowing his name. We need to talk
Yep.
about the people that were lost. We
Yeah.
need to share their images, their families' images, their GoFundMe's, their Facebook, wish them well. Those people are the ones that need to be seen. And we need to
Yeah.
just stop glorifying the people who do these huge manifesto kind of situation. So
Yeah,
so that's
okay.
that. That is that. And I did not get any organization done because I wanted to be very, very thorough with what I had to say.
Yeah.
Uh, so I shall do that later. And so, yeah, you guys, those are our two topics. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. If you want to hit us up on the Crafty Mess DMs or anything like that too, we will respond there. We definitely want to hear more of your thoughts. Thank you, Katrina. I hope you have a lovely day too, Missy. And
Thank you. And don't forget, we're starting like the Instagram live thing too. So we definitely like if some stories are popping up, that we do want to talk midweek, we'll pop onto Instagram live. So join us there, follow us on all the social media, as we are trying to be active on there more.
yeah, I think the last Instagram live I got cut off really quickly because I had a little human who needs me, and
Yep.
apparently the guy who was supposed to parent her fell asleep. So I was like, oh my gosh, one of these days our house are gonna get caught on fire. But
Sleeping on
he
the
and her,
job.
yeah, he and her are going on the little like mini daddy and daughter vacation right now. So it's
Aw,
like, Ma,
very
I get
nice.
freedom for 2 days. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
know, I know. I'm gonna just literally eat McDonald's like every single day
McDonald's
for the
every single
rest.
day. Don't
Yeah,
do that.
for the next 2 days. I know, I'm probably gonna do that. But yeah, so it's cute that they're doing a little trip. This morning she like woke up and was just like, deuces, mom, I'm
Oh,
out. Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
You
No,
forget your
literally,
mom as
she
soon
was
as
just like,
daddy's around.
yeah, literally. She knew she was going on a trip. I was like, can I have a hug? She's like, no. And then she left. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
wow. It's
well.
like that now.
I know. I see clearly. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Follow us on
Thank
the
you all.
socials, all the stuff. Let us know if there's
Yes.
any topics you want us to cover and talk about. Let us
Yep.
know.
And just remember, no matter the tea.
Never overstep other people's boundaries. See you
That's
later,
right.
guys. Enjoy. Have a good
Bye.
weekend. Bye.